On DC Music Rocks, we're shining a spotlight on the great songs, artists, and incredible people behind the DC region's music scene. Pebble to Pearl creates a unique blend of funk, rock, fierce, and powerful blues. They display a tapestry of sound that will truly captivate, mesmerize, and send chills down your spine while keeping you entertained and dancing.
That's right.
They have no boundaries with influences from legends like Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, and Shaka Khan, to the next generation of powerhouses like Beyonce and Rihanna, which I definitely, like in that song and in some of them, I definitely hear that stuff. And it's like, ooh, get it, girl. Yeah, man. There's a lot of that. And they throw in everything but the kitchen sink into their show and leave a lasting impression and the need for wanting more.
One more song.
One more.
Yes, they do that.
God, it's so good.
And what do we do?
And you
One
give them
more
one more
song.
song, I'm guessing. Oh, God, that's so good. So, guys, thanks so much for being here. And remind them again, so the pieces of the band. Pebble to Pearl is made up of how many pieces and what instruments? And who
We're
plays?
six-piece band. So we got 2 vocalists, lead vocalists, and support vocals.
Which is, and what are their names?
Me, lead vocalist, Dari J. Support vocalist is Miss Nikki T. We have our lovely guitarist here in the studio, Miss Genny Jam.
Yay.
Bassist, Mr. Dece.
At the bottom.
Our keyboard player, Mr. Araya. And drummer, Mr. Panda.
There it is. So 6 magical pieces.
That's right.
I love it, guys. And now, what is it? What would you say is what makes you special? What's different about like? There's all kinds of bands out there. So what is it that makes you guys special? Would you say?
Well, I don't know. I think we took an array of musicians with different backgrounds and kind of merged it into this band that we have formed. You know, I came from I guess like a funk background. Everyone always asked me if I had a gospel background, if I grew up singing in the church, and no, I did not. But I have been singing Michael Jackson since I was 4.
Oh,
and,
my. Okay.
You know,
So that puts you, like, that was just 10 years ago then, right? 'Cause
Exactly.
you're so young. Yeah, absolutely.
It was only 10 years ago.
That's right.
But I have videos. My mom has videos of me singing, you know, Michael Jackson,
Really?
Prince, stuff like that. And so, you know, I've been born and raised in that era. And then you have Genny here, who has a different musical background. You know, when she came in and had to play some of when we do cover songs, and I gave her some of the covers, she's like, "What is this? I've never played this before."
Yeah, it's like I've heard the music, and everybody thinks I'm like a rock player, and believe me, when I
She
first
has a
started
lot
learning
of,
guitar.
if you don't know, she has a lot of tattoos. If
Yeah.
you check her out on social media, you'll see some of her ink that she's got going on. Yes, absolutely.
But I grew up and I learned when I first started learning guitar. I did learn a lot of the rock songs and the typical guitar rock songs that you have to learn as a guitarist. But I basically went more into like the hip hop, R&B kind of thing, and funk and go-go. I actually played in a go-go band, so that was crazy. But that taught me a lot too. But it was really nice to find something like Pebble to Pearl, because it actually brought me back to like what I really love to do, which is playing really good guitar, good guitar songs, the originals that they had. I was just like, yeah, this is me. This is totally me. So, yeah.
Nice.
And then Dece.
Yes, I'm a product of the Prince, Morris Day type, Rick James
Yeah, he
type
sounds like
genre. And
Cameo.
I started this playing trombone, but when I heard Prince, I'm like, I can't do this anymore. So I picked up the bass. My mother bought a little bass, and I actually played 2 years without an amplifier. And I just grew from there. And so I kind of fused that with what Genny brings, what Dari brings, Panda and Araya to the table to make a complete composite. And it's a unique sound.
Yeah, I mean, Araya had a classical background.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
he's
wow.
classical jazz,
Yeah, he's totally
Ethiopian fusion type thing. So, I mean, that was completely different. And then you have Panda, who had a jazz background as
he's
well.
more
Jazz, gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we
Absolutely.
fused all that together to make what we have now.
Well, I'm a fan. Good gracious! I can't wait to see you guys do your thing at 9:30. That is going to be in the 9:30 club.
We're
That's going to be big. And now, what part of the DC region are you guys connected to?
Well, we do most of our gigs and touring, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, and Dece. So we're kind of in the whole metro type area. Anything within about 2 hours away, we'll go.
You'll do it.
Yeah, I mean we've gone to North Carolina and other places as well, but a couple times a year, something like that.
And what area do you live in?
I'm in Dulles. I'm in Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in Virginia. And Dece's in Virginia. Jenny's in Maryland.
I'm
Nikki's
across
in
the
Maryland.
country.
I was gonna say, it
She's
seems
in
like
a
that
whole
line.
other state.
Once you cross the river, it's like, oh, that's so far away.
So far. But both her, Nikki, and Panda now are in Maryland. They're so far away.
There's a Marylander now. I forgot about that. Ha ha.
And then the other, so it's split down the middle. 3 in Virginia, 3 in Maryland.
Yeah.
Nice. Man, that's cool. And now, what about, earliest memory with, well, actually, you know what? I feel like you guys kind of answered that because you were talking about Michael Jackson when you were 4 years old.
Yeah.
And Dece was talking about playing when he
ago.
was young, and Jenny Jam, all her background. So instead, what I want to ask you is talk about the funniest moment for Pebble to Pearl on stage that comes to mind. What's the funniest moment performing?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Well, the funniest thing that I can think of off the top of my head, and Dece, I believe you were there. Jenny was not there. We had to sub her because she was out doing her rock star thing. And so we had a sub guitarist who was great, by the way. He's absolutely great. But what happened is he started the song in the wrong key. And so I just go with the flow.
Right.
And so, okay, I hear the key. I'm just gonna sing it in this key.
We're gonna sing a new key. Okay.
And then I come to realize the key is a little low. And so I'm singing like a baritone player, and then to fix it, keyboard player comes in. So let's change the key. Well, we're gonna up it, and so they changed the key going into like the chorus, and so then I had to change the key in what I'm singing in, and then I realized that's not the right key either, guys. That's too high. So now I'm singing like a chipmunk. And I'm screeching at the top of my lungs, singing like a chipmunk, trying to get this note out. And then finally, by halfway through the song, we found the right key, and then it was back to normal. But it was, at the time, it was mortifying. It was absolutely mortifying in front of everybody, but mortifying internally. But I was laughing the whole entire time because I don't embarrass easily. And so we were cracking up. I'm looking at the people who know us in the audience, and their eyes are huge. They're like, what is happening right now? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just going with it. I don't know what's happening. But it was absolutely hilarious, and we talk about it all the time. The song was a cover song. It was Crazy by Gnarls Barkley. And I just remember going, I remember when, I remember. I'm coming crazy. I mean, it was so high, I couldn't do it. It was the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard in your life, but it was funny.
The audience didn't know.
Crazy.
The audience didn't know.
Oh no, they thought I was supposed to be singing up this stuff.
We meant to do that.
We meant to do that.
That almost sounds like
it's our version of the song.
Dari, that sounds like you just did. That was like an example of your pet voice. Like, oh, you just come here, look at you, you look cute.
We'll remember to do that the next show.
Oh, there you go. It's now a part of the set list now.
That's right.
It's like the 5 key change song. Yep, they just keep changing
just
it.
look at him and say, it's jazz.
It's jazz.
It's doing jazz, man. It's all jazz.
Oh, God. No, okay, so what about you guys on the personal side? So outside of music, what do you do? What's life like for you guys?
I have a lot of different things I do, but the main thing that I absolutely love doing when I'm not singing is I'm a dog trainer.
Really? So I just talked about pet voice. I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's a thing.
That's how you talk to them to make it happen.
Oh, right? That's what she said.
That's right. So I'm a dog trainer and behaviorist. Dog behaviorist. So,
and where do you do this? Is this like a little side thing, or is it through a store or your own little thing?
I have my own business doing it. I focus on like the power breeds, like the Dobermans, Rottweilers, Pit Bulls, stuff like that, and rehabilitate them and work with them doing both basic obedience and doing behavior modifications so that they can either stay in their home. I work with a lot of dog rescues and rehabilitating some of the dogs that are having a hard time being adopted so that they can be adopted in the future. That sort of thing, and working with other shelters and stuff to do the same.
Wow, Dari, that's cool. All right, Genny, what about you?
Well, besides eating,
Besides
I'm
eating?
only kidding.
I would have assumed that you eat, but it's good that we clarified that. This is good. All right.
Get out the way.
I'm really money-wise for the money. I'm a designer and a video editor. I freelance and I have my own business. So I do a lot of contract work. I work with a lot of design firms that hire me. Usually in the summer and the holidays are usually my busy times because that's when people go off on their vacations and stuff. And I mean, that's what I do.
Wow.
I went to school.
And designer of, so mostly graphics or
Graph-
video too? Or?
Graphic design. I started out as a graphic designer and kind of worked my way up to like web and video. And really the bulk of my work now is more video editing and motion graphics.
Got
So,
it. Wow,
yeah, and
fascinating.
that's where the money comes in. But
Yeah.
anyways, but I love doing it. It's a passion of mine because I went to school for it, and it's like my other like passion is
Yeah.
designing and art and all that stuff. So
All right,
that's
so
what I do.
Design, I love it. Dece, what about you, man?
Well, my 9 to 5, I'm a
We'll have
satellite.
to kill you.
My 9 to 5, I'm a satellite operations specialist, and on the side, I have an IT business where I specialize in web and app development, and licensed drone pilot.
Good. So it sounds like this band has like all the other side hustles you could possibly need put
We got the
together.
services.
Yeah, you seriously
We
got it
dog
covered.
trainer.
We can do it all.
We can do it all.
All of the things. That's right. They can rehab your dog and create your website and make it killer. Like, holy
Hack your
smokes.
GPS if I have to.
And
No, I'm just kidding.
There it is.
You can make apps.
We won't talk.
I told you, if you tell them, we have to kill them.
We won't talk about hacking. All right. Now, my favorite question to ask is if you could offer one piece of advice, we're going to go down the line here. If you could offer one piece of advice, what would it be? We'll start with you, Dari.
I would say keep trying. Never stop trying.
Where does that come from?
Before Pebble to Pearl started, and Dece, you're most familiar with it because he's my veteran person who started the band with me for the most part. I was in another band and I got kind of kicked out of it, I guess, so to speak. We won't go into how or why.
Right. Okay.
But I was released from that band, and it was traumatizing, heartbreaking,
Yeah.
and a lot of that was everything to me, to have this band, and I could not let go of singing and being in a band. And so it was the day that it happened. I called up Dece and said, "We're starting another band. We're doing this, and I want you to be our bass player." And he did.
Okay.
And from then on, it's now been 5-6 years, something like that. Now that we have Pebble to Pearl, and we've got all of our lovely people in it that I absolutely love. We're family now. But I'm glad that I'm not in that other band anymore, because this is everything. The way that this band is absolutely everything. And if I had stopped trying, if I had let that, and I'd given up on it, then I wouldn't be here. And I wouldn't have these wonderful people that I love.
I love
so
it.
just never stop trying. You can always get there.
Yeah. And guys, all right, so we've got time for one more. So Dece or Genny, what do you think? One
Words of
piece of
wisdom.
advice.
And this is local. Okay, so I want to just pass this on to local musicians. If you make a mistake, do it twice. People think you did it on purpose.
There you go.
That's
I follow
Again,
that.
never
If I-
stop trying.
If I make a mistake, because you're only a half step away from the right note. So if you make a mistake, do
Right.
it twice. Make people think you did
There
it
you
on purpose.
go.
and it actually might sound good too.
Own it. Own it.
does.
Yeah, own it.
Make it work.
That is
Make it
amazing.
work.
And now for those folks who want to find out more about Pebble to Pearl and all the stuff you've got going on and what you're doing, where do they go?
PebbleToPearl.com. And that's T-O, not the number 2. So
The
Pebble to
word
Pearl,
two.
www.pebbletopearl.com. We're also on Facebook. And it's at Pebble to Pearl on Facebook.
Yeah, Pebble. I think everything's perfect.
Everything is, at Pebble to Pearl. Instagram,
Pearl.
Spotify, iTunes. We have the EP on there and a couple singles on there as well. YouTube, we have a lot of video. We have a couple videos on there as well as a whole bunch of live stuff on there. So every
good.
every social media you can think of, we're on there.
You got it.